Could the ammunition you've been stockpiling for a survival crisis actually end up getting you killed? In a true collapse scenario, choosing the wrong cartridge is like showing up to a gunfight with a butter knife. In this segment, we're looking at 5 of the worst calibers you could count on when society unravels. Whether it's obscure specialty rounds or overhyped niche cartridges, these are the ones that could fail you when the stakes are highest. Stick with me because some of these crowd favorites are actually survival liabilities. Kicking off the list at number 5, let's talk about the 338 Advanced Rifle Cartridge, better known as the 338 ARC. This round gets a lot of attention as the next big thing in long-range firepower. Designed to fill the performance gap between the classic 308 Winchester and the big Magnum powerhouses, it looks good on paper. You're talking about projectiles in the 200 to 250 grain range, clocking out with high velocities and impressive energy. Sounds great until you actually try to plan around it for a survival scenario. Here's the brutal truth. This cartridge is a logistical nightmare when the world goes dark. First of all, good luck finding it. The 338 ARC is still so new that even well-stocked gun stores rarely carry it. Online retailers? Hit or miss, and mostly miss. In a collapse situation, you're not going to stumble across this unicorn round while scavenging. Availability is terrible even during stable times. So forget about it when supply chains grind to a halt. And the price? You're looking at $3 to $5 per round, depending on the brand. Try to stash a few hundred of these for a bug-out plan, and you're looking at a 4-digit ammo bill. Not exactly sustainable for most folks. Add in the recoil, which hits hard, especially in lighter rifles, and you've got a round that's punishing to shoot under stress or fatigue. Let's not forget the logistics. Those heavy bullets mean fewer cartridges per magazine and more overall weight to haul, which becomes a major issue when you're traveling on foot or carrying limited gear. Firearms chambered for 338 ARC are few and far between. If something breaks, replacement parts are going to be non-existent in a collapse scenario. Suppressor compatibility? Not common. Reloading equipment like dies? Hard to find. And that high-pressure case design? It's not very forgiving for handloaders working with makeshift setups. Now, don't get me wrong, this cartridge absolutely shines at the range. It's a performer in controlled, clean environments. But when the world goes to hell and you're depending on your rifle to keep you alive, the 338 ARC is the kind of high-performance toy you can't afford to trust your life to. Too rare, too expensive, and far too specialized for survival work. Landing in the number 4 spot is the 5.45 by 39mm cartridge, the Soviet-designed answer to the 5.56 by 45mm NATO round, best known for its role in the iconic AK-74. This small caliber, high-velocity projectile has gained a dedicated following. It is fast, flat-shooting, and remarkably easy to control, with projectiles typically ranging from 53 to 60 grains. On paper, it looks like a winner capable of cutting through soft armor and offering low recoil for fast follow-up shots. But if you're prepping for a serious survival situation, this round could be a costly mistake. The biggest issue? Scarcity. In the United States, 5.45 by 39mm is far from mainstream. You might dig up a few surplus Spam cans if you're lucky, but it doesn't even come close to the availability of 5.56 NATO or 7.62 by 39mm Soviet. Once things fall apart and stores dry up, this ammo will become about as easy to find as a winning lottery ticket. And reloading? Forget about it. Most of what's available is steel-cased, which keeps prices down but makes reloading an uphill battle. If you're hoping to reuse spent casings, you'll need specialized tools and techniques, and good luck finding Boxer primed brass cases when things go south. Ballistically, it's got one job punching through soft armor, and that's where it shines. But it falls flat when it comes to stopping power, especially against larger threats like aggressive wildlife or heavily built attackers. And once you stretch past 300 yards, this cartridge starts losing energy quickly. If you're out in open terrain, you could be outmatched. Then there's the rifle itself. AK-74s are cool, no doubt, but they're far less common than AKM pattern rifles. Finding magazines, spare parts, or compatible upgrades becomes a real challenge in a long-term crisis. And if you're thinking about running suppressed, good luck. Subsonic loads for 5.45 are practically non-existent, and suppressors in that caliber are rare. Bottom line, while this cartridge has a place in military service, it's a risky gamble for any serious survivalist. Ammo availability, limited utility, and parts scarcity make it more trouble than it's worth when your life is on the line. Taking the number 3 slot is the mighty 338 Lapua Magnum, a cartridge that's practically synonymous with ultra-long-range sniping. Firing 250 to 300 grain projectiles at incredible velocities, this round can drop targets at a mile or more with surgical precision. It's a favorite in elite sniper circles, and for good reason. But in a grid-down world, this round becomes a liability wrapped in recoil and expense. Let's start with the cost. A single cartridge can run you anywhere between $8 and $12, and that's during normal times. Stockpiling even a modest amount would set you back more than the cost of a used vehicle. In a collapse, this ammo becomes practically unobtainable unless you've got deep pockets and pre-stocked crates buried in your backyard. And then there's the rifle itself. These long-range platforms are beasts weighing anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds unloaded. They're precision machines, built for bench work or static shooting positions, not for trekking through rugged terrain with a pack on your back. If your survival plan involves mobility, this setup works against you from the jump. The recoil is no joke either. Unless you're well practiced, every shot will leave a mark, and flinching becomes a real issue under pressure. Magazine capacity is limited 5 to 10 rounds, tops meaning constant reloads in a defensive situation. That's a real problem if you're in a fight and outnumbered. As for practicality, let's be real. You don't need to take game animals at 1,500 yards. In most survival scenarios, you're shooting inside of 200. Carrying 20 cartridges of 338 Lapua feels like hauling bricks compared to a small pile of 5.56 by 45 NATO or even 7.62 by 39 so. Add in the fact that suppressors in this caliber are massive and uncommon, and reloading components are hard to come by, and you've got a recipe for disappointment. Unless you've got a military logistics chain backing you up, the 338 Lapua Magnum is just too much gun and too much hassle. It may be a sniper's dream at the range, but in a true survival setting, it becomes a cumbersome, expensive, and unsustainable choice. Coming in at number 2 is the legendary 50 Action Express, the powerhouse cartridge made famous by the Desert Eagle. This is the kind of round you see blasting through walls in action movies, firing projectiles between 300 and 400 grains with a punch that feels like a freight train to the wrist. It's big, it's loud, and it absolutely demands attention. But when it comes to real-world survival, this is one caliber you do not want to rely on. Let's talk cost first. You are looking at anywhere between $4 and $6 per shot. That means just filling a single magazine could cost as much as an entire case of 9mm Luger. In a post-collapse scenario where ammo becomes currency, this stuff is like trying to barter with solid gold. Impressive, but totally impractical. And it is not just the price. Availability is a nightmare. Even under normal conditions, you are not finding 50 Action Express at the average gun shop. In a widespread breakdown, your odds of stumbling across a box of this stuff are slim to none. Then there's the Desert Eagle itself. Let's be honest, it's a mechanical diva. These pistols are large, heavy, and not built for grit and grime. In the dusty, unpredictable chaos of a real SHTF environment, reliability takes a nosedive. A bit of dirt or mud, and you're clearing malfunctions while someone else is pulling the trigger. The recoil is punishing. Unless you are built like a professional linebacker, expect slow follow-up shots and forget about handing it to a less experienced shooter. Magazine capacity is laughable, only 7 or 8 rounds per magazine, and spare mags are chunky and heavy, making them a burden to carry. Suppressor options are virtually non-existent. And as for reloading, you are entering advanced territory. The high pressures and component scarcity mean only the most experienced handloaders with specialized tools will have any chance of producing safe, consistent rounds. Sure, the 50 Action Express has enough stopping power to take down a bear if everything goes right, but in real survival terms, it's a high-cost liability. You need something that works all the time, not just in theory. And finally, topping the list at number 1, the mighty 50 Browning machine gun. Known to most shooters as the 50 BMG, this cartridge was developed to disable vehicles, bust through armor, and deliver raw devastation. It sends 600 to 800 grain projectiles downrange at speeds that make the earth shake. It's military-grade power in its purest form, but for survival, it is the ultimate overkill. Let's break it down. Each round costs somewhere between $10 and $20, and that's assuming you can even find it. Outside of government stockpiles or private collectors, this ammunition is almost mythical. If society collapses, you are not stumbling across boxes of 50 BMG in the back room of a gas station. Then there's the rifle itself. Whether you are running a Barrett or another big-bore platform, these guns are massive, 20 to 30 pounds or more, and over 4 feet long. Carrying one is like hauling a steel beam, and you can forget about maneuvering quickly or quietly through tight terrain. Recoil is no joke. Even seasoned shooters get worn down after a few rounds. Magazine capacity is typically 5 to 10 rounds, and each cartridge weighs close to a hand grenade. A full loadout feels like lugging around a small set of gym weights, and that's not even counting the accessories. Good luck suppressing one of these. The blast is deafening, and suppressors in this class are practically science fiction. Reloading? You'll need industrial-grade presses, high-end components, and deep knowledge of ballistics just to get started. And if your rifle breaks down, replacing a bolt or barrel isn't as easy as swinging by your local hardware store. In short, the 50 BMG is a technical marvel for its intended use, but that use is not survival. It's a heavy, high-maintenance behemoth that offers way more firepower than you'll ever realistically need. It will slow you down, drain your resources, and put a target on your back for anyone desperate enough to want it. So there you have it, 5 cartridges you should steer clear of when everything hits the fan. These rounds may look great on paper or sound awesome in movies, but in a real-world survival situation, they're more burden than blessing. Stick with practical, widespread options, like 5.56 by 45 NATO, 9mm Luger, or 7.62 by 51 NATO. These calibers are proven, available, and versatile. Got a cartridge you think deserves to be on this blacklist? Let us know in the comments. We're ready to argue about it. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown. Stay sharp, stay armed, and we'll see you in the next one.